This is William Robinson with ViralHair.com, and today we're speaking to McKenna. Now, one things I saw on your booth here is you have this comic book. What's the idea behind it, and where did it come from?
So I'm a full-time singer-songwriter. I write music about trauma. I'm also an autistic person. I write about a lot of different things, but this song Survivor started as kind of a pep talk to myself during a low period in my life. And I basically showed it to my manager, and I've been a comic fan and an anime fan for about 13 years. I got into it really young, and we were thinking of ways to incorporate my own interests into my branding.
Right.
So he said, you need to meet someone named Michelle. And I was, of course, open to it. And Michelle is an Austin, Texas local. She's born and raised here. She had a stroke at 5 weeks old and has cerebral palsy and epilepsy. And after hearing this song, my manager introduced me to her, and we all got together, and he came up with the brilliant idea of making a comic book for the song. And basically the comic book covers Michelle's story in a fictionalized setting, but with the real people in her life surrounding her, plus or minus a few fictional characters.
Right.
And she, in real life, is an artist as well. And in the book, she creates a parallel universe that helps her deal with the medical traumas that she has as a result of the cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and many other medical complications as a result of the stroke she had when she was a baby.
Outstanding. That sounds really neat. And you mentioned since you're both an artist and a singer-songwriter, do you see one part of your artistic personality kind of feeding the other at times?
I would say I don't think they feed each other, but what I do notice is that creative burnout is a real thing. And when I usually get creatively burned out in one capacity, then I get more creatively inspired in another. So when I'm not capable of writing songs, or I'm just exhausted with performing, then usually I'll go home and I'll draw or I'll paint.
Right.
And then vice versa.
So it kind of recharges your batteries?
Yeah, for sure. And it also keeps me from, I think, overextending myself creatively, because it gives me different avenues and outlets to put it into.
And now, your music, is it more progressive? Is it regular pop standards? I mean, what kind of style of music would you say you do?
I would compare my music the closest to, I always say it's like if you mixed Adele and Florence and the Machine. It's got a lot of real topics in it. There's also some fun songs. Generally more upbeat now, but there are some piano ballad or ballad type style songs. Right. Some of them leaning into, I guess, like indie pop rock. I would also say some of them are like if you made musical theater pop a thing, that would be my music.
No, I can understand that. And you're here selling your comic book and your artwork to people?
I am, and I was lucky enough to be asked by the Greater Austin staff to do a performance yesterday at the official after party, so I got to do my music as well as
Outstanding.
my art. Yeah, it was great.
And is this your first con to work, or have you done other shows before this?
I've been doing conventions as a cosplayer for 13 years.
Okay.
12. 12 years, almost 13 years. And that started my con experience. I would do conventions either guesting as a cosplayer or just attending as a cosplayer. And it was actually the organizer of Greater Austin who convinced me to guest for my art. I had started out as a musical guest, and because of the comic book, I would guest. I started that 3 or 4 years ago now. But for my artwork, I was actually at a convention with Bo Wen, who is the organizer of Greater Austin, and I was at his booth, and I asked him if he had a pen and paper. I was bored and wanted to draw, and he saw my art, and he said, "Do you sell your art?" And I said, "No, I just usually do it for fun, or I make it for friends and things like that." And he was kind of blown away by that. He said, "You need to be selling your art." And I was like, well, I don't feel like it's good enough. It's not as detailed as a lot of the comic artists, and there's so many amazing artists at Comic-Con. He goes, no, your style is unique, your style is your own, and that's what makes it stand out. It doesn't look like anybody else's, and you should be pursuing that. And it took me a while to believe him, but eventually I put together a few pieces. My first one that I did, a full piece, was this Rosalina up there, if you can see it, I don't know. That was the very first painting that I fully completed, aside from just the sketches and drawings that I've been doing at home for fun, for myself, and I've been blown away by the reception of that. That's one of my best-selling prints for sure, and feels like an accomplishment for being my first piece to put out.
Very cool. And even if you choose your projects or anything else you want to kind of promote or put out there?
Yeah, so I just had a song come out called Never Satisfied on July 11th. It's about dealing with autism and masking in everyday life. I also have a second comic book, the sequel to Survivor, coming out. I was supposed to have it for Greater Austin, but there was an issue with the printing. But keep an eye on my website. It's at McKenna Michels Music, McKenna music.com. And also on my Instagram page, which is also McKenna Michels Music. I'll be posting on there when it's out.
Right. Well, thank you for your time, McKenna.
Thank you so much.